It's time for Coffee with the Chicken Ladies, a podcast for people who love chickens.
Hey everybody, and welcome. It's Chrisie&Holly from Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. We're here, and this is episode number 285 of our podcast, where we talk about everything chicken, family, fun, and
more chickens.
More chickens. We drink a ton of coffee. I'm talking a ton. But most importantly,
we hug chickens, ducks, and geese every day.
And we kiss them too. Don't forget. We brew coffee from a little coffee house here in Maryland. Holly Ann, what kind of coffee are we brewing today?
Breakfast blend.
In the afternoon, you know, I was going to say it. That's what
I've been drinking it since breakfast, though.
Still in the afternoon, man. Still in the afternoon. Okay. What kind of coffee are you guys drinking? Let us know. Send us a story on Instagram. Show us your coffee cups. And
mine has geese on it. 1980s country geese.
It's great. Are you ready to sip some of this delicious coffee and chat?
I am. But first, a word from our sponsors.
We have some exciting news to share from our sponsor, Grubbly Farms. They're here, new and improved, Grubbly's World Harvest.
I'm a longtime subscriber, and my flock love the healthy, nutritious treats, plus orders $40 and more ship free.
If you haven't heard, Grubbly's has a fantastic layer pellet and crumble feed. It's packed with plant and insect protein, perfect for those picky chickens and ducks.
Grubbly Farms makes food and treats for healthy pets and planet.
To support us and Grubbly Farms, use the link grubbly.co/coffee. Try it today. This is the time of the year, the peonies. Oh my gosh, my peonies are massively huge this year, making me so happy. Almost as tall as me. Not hard to do. I'm only 5'1", but hey.
That's abundant. That sounds beautiful.
They're about to bloom. They've got the blooms. They're about to go. But I really attribute it to the strong animal chicken elixir that was in the water all winter. So when I dumped it and had to empty all the water bowls, I put it in the garden. So they got all the nutrients from the chicken elixir.
Fantastic. I had something kind of similar. I was growing cotton one year and I planted it downstream of one of my big climbing roses. And the cotton that was closest to the roses just took off. I got tons of cotton. I figured out later it was because they were probably consuming the rose food.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so the one that was right where I was dumping the water with the vitamins is just beautiful. And the other ones are doing well too. And my scarlet peony that I got, 4 or 5 years ago, for the first time has 5 blooms. I'm so excited.
Yay!
Can't wait. How are you doing over there?
We're okay. I'm waiting for the roses to bloom. Sheep and Wool Festival was a week or 2 ago. That's always fantastic. I spend lots of money on wool.
I just got back from Mexico. 5 days of fun and sun. That was
Did
good.
you bring me more vanilla?
You know it.
Thank you.
It. I have to run and get that vanilla before I board the plane. It's duty free.
Well, I mean, you've brought it back for me the last several years, so I'm used to it now. I can't do without my Mexican vanilla.
Once you try it, there's nothing like it. It's so good.
It is really good.
Yeah, so I'll be giving it to you next time I see you.
Awesome. Thank you.
You don't get better than fun and sun, but I'm happy to be home with all my kids, both human kids and
feathery
kids.
Yeah.
Feathery, furry, all the ones.
We had a crazy couple of months. So we're enjoying like a slow, comfortable May, doing some knitting. I've messed around with doll making through most of my life. And I'm on a project right now because your mom inspired me with that Cabbage Patch Kid that she gave me.
Yeah.
So now I'm making, they're not Cabbage Patch. They're a
little people.
No, they're not little people either. They're called the Original Doll Babies, and they were designed and made by the woman from whom Xavier Roberts stole the idea for the Cabbage Patch Kids. And it's fun, though, because I found an old book that she had published for some knitting patterns for the dolls.
Yeah, that just goes to show you somebody steals your idea, and they don't have a thing to do about he never made a doll in his life.
It's crazy. I mean, I guess he was an art major. Well, let's face it. He got the copyright, so he had things on his side. And if there's one thing we've learned doing media as we do, is that people will steal your stuff right in front of you. Bold-faced thieves.
That's what it is. That's what it is, man. It's crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy. Well, on that note. If you're listening to our show and you're loving it, head on over to Apple Podcast and leave us a typed review. It does amazing things for the growth of our show. Not to mention, you've really put smiles on our faces, and just getting a little encouragement from people really helps us keep going and doing all the things we do. So go on over there, and it's a free way. It's free, costs nothing, and hit that subscribe button so that you never miss the fun.
If you're looking for other ways to help support the show, you can tell a few chicken, duck, or goose-loving friends about us. You can share your favorite episodes on social media. You can become a patron of the show, patreon.com/coffeewiththechickenladies. Thank you to all of our wonderful patrons. You guys are the best. And there are 2 more things you can do to help this show. And the first one is to buy our book. Our book is available for pre-order. The Chicken Lady's Guide to Life with Chickens, The Joys of Delicious Eggs, and Raising a Healthy Flock. It's for beginners and more
beyond.
Beginners and beyond. There you go. And more experienced keepers alike. There's lots of stuff in there. And please don't think it's going to be our last one. If you use our link that goes straight to Globe Pequot and Lions, apparently because Simon & Schuster are the distributors of the book, you can't buy on there until 30 days before the book is published, to the end of September. But there are links for Amazon and Barnes & Noble right there. So you can use either one of those.
And those are working just fine.
Right. And everything all comes out on the same day, which is October 20th. The other thing you can do to help support this show is visit our website and our show notes, pre-order our book, and buy products from our sponsors.
Yay! Be honest. What's the most annoying part of chicken keeping day to day?
Oh, that's easy. Feeding time. Or what's left on the ground after it.
Exactly. Wasted feed. And that's where the omelet no waste feeder comes in.
Okay, I need details.
They're designed to solve all the classic feeder problems: spills, wasted feed, and pests.
Yep, that is my life.
The no-waste feeders keeps feed protected, clean, and secure. They're spill-proof by design, which means far less mess around the coop and far less waste overall.
That already sounds like a big improvement.
They also hold enough feed for up to 6 chickens for a week, so you're not constantly topping it up every day.
That is actually life-changing.
And if you go for the smart no-waste feeder, you can even connect it via your phone and set timed openings and closings so feeding can be completely hands-off if you want it to be.
Whoa, I am sold.
Search Omelet, that's OMLET, and upgrade your smart no-waste feeder today.
The Breed Spotlight is brought to you by Murray McMurray Hatchery, defining quality for generations. For over a century, Murray McMurray Hatchery has remained a trusted family-owned business, working tirelessly to ensure our poultry meet the highest standards. Whether you are an experienced enthusiast or just embarking on the journey, look to McMurray Hatchery for guaranteed quality, rare and heritage breeds, low minimums, and all the supplies you need to raise your flock. Request a free catalog today.
A little pinch here, little pinch there, then a pinch in. This week's Breed Spotlight is
the Pyncheon Bantam. Not pinching bantam, the Pyncheon Bantam.
I know it's Pyncheon, but I made my own little thing with it. Okay?
You did.
That's what I do's.
Pete asked me today if you were going to sing a song for the Seed Spotlight. So I said, oh, the mind boggles with possibilities.
I don't know. I got to think about that one.
He thought maybe Kale enthusiasts would like it. Anyway.
Well, you know how like you're doing the doll stuff to kind of relax. I now got an app that I can write my own songs. So
Oh, and haven't you used that to good effect? I was laughing until I cried. Anyway, we got to get back to the chicken. Okay.
I'm going to write a chicken song for us.
The Pyncheon Bantam is an extremely rare American bantam. And when we say extremely rare, we mean really rare.
A ton.
They are a true bantam.
Ton rare.
They're a true bantam, and they are believed to have been developed in New England in the early 1800s. The Pyncheon is a crested breed, and they have only one color variety. That's the beautiful Millie Fleur.
Now, if you're only going to have one color, that's a good color to have.
Absolutely. The very few breeders and keepers out there who have Pyncheons report that they are happy and chatty little birds. Because there's so little information out there, when we first profiled them back in about 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah, it was about 3 years ago. I reached out to the Pyncheon Preservation and Breeders group on Facebook. Now, I've belonged to that group for a while. I was interested in the Pyncheon at one point, But I ultimately went with the Nankin because I could get my hands on them a lot more easily. So we had a listener on YouTube request that we revisit the Pyncheon. So we're doing that. And I turned to the group again for a second look at the Pyncheon because there really aren't that many other sources where I can get information.
There's not a lot of information and there aren't a lot of Pyncheons.
Right. And so unfortunately, this time I came away from the group thinking that this little chicken needs even more help.
And a lot of the chickens, it's the opposite. We're like, oh, we're doing some good. The numbers are changing.
Mm-hmm.
This is one where they're not. So if you're listening and you want to do conservation breeding, this is a breed to select because they need it. They need help.
And it's not like a quickie here. This is a long haul project because
that's what she said.
Even if you get some Pyncheons, they might not have the strongest genetics. You're really in for doing yeoman's work here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Pyncheon used to be included in the American Bantam Association standard. As of 2014, there was still a breed standard for them listed. So if you're interested in doing conservation breeding for the Pyncheon, get your hands on a 2014 American Bantam Association standard or earlier. This is generally the standard that breeders will use when they're working with the birds. There's very, very little written history about these little birds. They do appear in Nathaniel Hawthorne's 1851 novel, The House of the Seven Gables. He actually names the Pyncheon family after the birds, and he did keep Pyncheon Bantams in real life. I mean, he kind of left us high and dry. He didn't really leave us that much about them either.
Right. He's no Lewis Wright.
No, very few are Lewis Wright. What we don't know for sure is how and when Pyncheons got to the U.S. We don't know any foundation breeds, though people do occasionally mention the Duclay. The Pyncheon would actually be older, and the Pyncheon does not have feathered legs and feet. So we really don't know. We don't know what kind of breeding was done with them. Nothing. We know almost nothing.
I mean, they're looking at milliflora and saying, okay, the coloring, they're Bantam, that kind of fits in. But if they're older than the Duclay, then we've got a problem.
Yeah,
Houston,
they are
we have
older
a problem.
than the Duclay. Right, right.
So that's not what it is.
If you do any kind of exhaustive search for Pyncheons, you'll find an article or two online that suggests that Thomas Jefferson may have kept Pyncheons at Monticello. But I got to tell you, there is not a lot of solid evidence behind this. And I have looked.
And we looked at Monticello, too.
Right. Unfortunately, they don't have any livestock at Monticello. It is a shame.
They didn't really even show you kind of where the chickens were really there. I mean,
no, but I will say the garden is pretty amazing.
That garden was beautiful.
Yeah. So Jefferson did breed and keep bantams. I mean, that's been established. There are some existing letters between Jefferson and his granddaughter Ellen, where he's asking after some bantams that he had sent to her. And it's really interesting because she had some losses due to a frigid winter. Again, I bet you Ellen and good old TJ would have given their eye teeth for a cozy coop eater.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So I'm not sure what evidence anyone used to draw the conclusion that these were Pyncheons, though. There are other bantams here. There were Nankins. There were Old English game bantams for sure. So there is a letter where Jefferson says he wants Ellen to figure out if these bantams are the Adriatic fowl, chickens that would have been from the area of the Adriatic Sea. And he references some old biology text that I guess has a drawing of the Adriatic fowl. So if the Pyncheons are of some kind of an old Belgian stock, they would not be connected to the Adriatic. So we really, at this point, we have zero evidence of anything. As a historian, this is really frustrating to me because no matter where I dig, I can't find anything.
You're a digger. So, I mean,
I'm a digger. I'm an excavator of historical fact.
If Holly can't find it, no one's going to find it. Just telling you that right now. And the milliflora thing does kind of suggest Belgium, definitely.
But not the Duclay.
No. But a Belgian bird. Okay, so as true bantams, Pyncheons, as you can imagine, are very small birds. Males weigh in at 1 pound, 8 ounces, and females are around 1 pound, 6 ounces. They're Nankin size. They're little. They're tiny. Yeah. And you know what? I feel like the true bantams are usually smaller than the other ones that are representative of a different kind of flock, because I felt like they're more bred to be closer to the breed itself. So now they do have willow green legs, which that's really cool, straight combs, red earlobes, and reddish bay eyes. Hens have an adorable crest, while the roos have more of the tassel behind their combs. So they're really cool looking. I mean, I wish there were more out there, that's for sure. Now, the only color variety is the millefleur. We keep saying that because that's it. That's what you got. If I was left and somebody said this is the only color variety was this, I would be great with that.
Okay.
Like, okay, yeah, sure. And the base colors of the feathers should be butterscotch buff for hens and the darker buff on the roosters with a rich golden bay. Now, Rusty Heart notes that breeders would be aiming for crisp spangles and avoid breeding birds that are overly white. They didn't want that white in there. They're like, no.
So Rusty Hart is a breeder. I believe he's in Michigan. He probably has probably one of the bigger Pyncheon flocks and better genetics around. He does not sell his birds, however.
I mean, honestly, he needs to. He needs to.
Not my decision. Not my decision. He sold his birds to people, and those people let those birds get killed by predators, etc.
I remember that story.
Where I'm going with this, though, I mean, and that's up to him. That's his call, right? He's worked with those birds. But where I'm going with this is that he is probably one of the few authorities on their appearance.
Wow,
so that's why he was saying breed for crisp spangles, eliminate a lot of the white, because some people are working with birds that are overly white, especially males, and they get too much white on their legs and their tails, and then they're off of breed standard.
Wow, the boys have those long, beautiful tail feathers, so you probably don't want too much white in those either. So it does take about 2 years for the millefleur to fully develop. So remember that. I feel like the Cochins and other chickens, like with lacing and stuff, it takes a long time. It doesn't just happen by like 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever.
Especially spotted chickens. I feel like it can take a few years for a lot of the spotted chickens to just get what they're going to look like to develop.
Exactly. So breeders must be patient when working with these tiny birds because those are the types of things that you have to let happen over time and not be impatient and say, well, they're 10 weeks old and that's it.
That's why I said breeding these birds is not for someone who's looking for like a quick turnaround, etc. This is a haul. I mean, this is a dedication. You'd have to. Well,
actually, you did say a quickie, but that's not.
Well, it's not a quickie, is what I'm saying. I'm saying it's a marathon.
You said it wasn't a quickie. That's what you said. Okay, so chicks should be more of a buff brown than yellow, and they generally hatch their crest with their crest visible. Now, adult birds should have a deep breast and that proud bantam stance. I love that little bantam stance. It's so cute.
It is very cute.
Now, let's go into the egg stats. Pyncheon hens lay an average of 3 white or cream eggs per week. Reports say that they're one of the larger bantam eggs. So that's great. I mean, you can use them for apps. You can use them for a sandwich. They're a little bit larger.
Like the Nankins also have a larger egg. So yeah.
Well, they remind me of the Nankins all around, kind of.
I was thinking if you had to outcross them, like if you had to come up with a different breed and outcross them, and I don't know the color genetics in any detail, but I'm wondering if a little bit of Nankin would help keep that buff color in there that they're supposed to have.
They do remind me of each other. I mean, they really do. Now, they do go broody and make great mothers. We're talking about a lot of bantams lately, and bantams are known to be broody. Just know that. And
except
the fact, I wasn't going to say because I've said it a lot, but somebody actually tagged us in their sea bright going broody.
That's funny.
I was like, I love it. Go sea bright, go. But I mean, if you're going to get bantams, make sure you know bantams are known to go broody, but also that how a chicken like this with a broody hen got into this position. I feel like availability, like you said, when you sell them, you're like, you got to know you have gold. You have to really take care of them. And some people did not.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that in a minute.
I know, but I'm just saying that. That's what I'm saying. Now, there are issues with fertility in some strains, but at least one of the major breeders feels like it is improving. So,
well, that was 3 years ago.
It is improving. I'm going to hold on to that hope.
Okay. This is a bird. There's no other way to look at this. This is a bird that must be carefully guarded from predators and the cold. There is no good reason to lose a bird this rare, the rarest of the rare, to preventable things. I'm not saying accidents can't happen, but these birds need to be guarded. So a few years back, when we had those terrible cold snaps in the southern US, a really ridiculously large number of bantams were lost to the cold, including a really tragic number of Pyncheons.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this year and last year, more cold, more Pyncheons lost. I mean, I saw people saying, I lost this promising cockerel in a cold snap.
I'm kind of tired of listening to people say that all chickens can just take the cold, because they can't. They're living creatures and they're less than 2 pounds. And that's like your ankle going outside and trying to stay warm. And it can't because it's like 2 pounds.
Don't believe the hype. Get heaters for these birds. Really.
I mean,
I'm sure there are people who can keep them just fine, like have a setup where they don't need heaters. But if you're not one of those people, get your birds a heater.
Well, if you have bantams, you're going to need a really small coop with a lot of birds in it to keep them warm. That's the only thing. And that's not even guaranteed that that's
you could have pens inside of a barn that has a lot of warmth to it. Anyway, they do make great pets. That's one thing to know. And they are really beautiful little birds. But again, conservation breeding is necessary. Right now, the gene pool is still so small that the Livestock Conservancy does not list the Pyncheon on the conservation priority list. This little bird is an excellent flyer.
Right.
They will roost in trees if given half a chance. That's another thing you really have to look out for. And of course, if it's winter, that's another recipe for hyperthermia. Keep these birds warm. Keep these birds safe. I mean, the people who do raise them love them. In general, they're very happy, busy, active little birds. They're very chatty. Everyone says they're friendly with people. They like to, run up and be around their people. But breeding them will require time, space, because you're going to have a lot of breeding pens, a lot of patience, because like we said, you need to let them grow out. But at the end of the day, one, they're a very rare piece of American history, but they're also extremely lovable little birds. And so they're really worth it if you can put the time in.
Now, getting your hands on a Pyncheon is actually kind of tough. Getting your hands on a Pyncheon that meets breed standard is going to be even harder. So P. Allen Smith does still maintain a flock and will sell pairs at Moss Mountain Farm in Arkansas. If you attend those events, you might be able to get some. And that is a good thing.
He won't sell to you if you're not there. You need to go to his events and see if he'll sell.
Because he doesn't want to chance the shipping of them and then something happening to them. Now, there is a Pyncheon preservation and breeding group on Facebook. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, I've belonged to that for a few years now. You can buy from breeders there. Sometimes you'll get people who are willing to ship birds, who are willing to ship eggs. But a lot of these folks are struggling to produce birds with the willow legs. And willow is green, like Sicilian buttercups have willow green legs.
Yep, exactly.
They're a very, very nice and helpful group, but scarcity and the fragility of the chicks are really the biggest problem.
Oh, yeah. Privet Hatchery sold Pyncheons, but we did hear and repeatedly that they had serious breed faults. Okay. So keep that in mind. Now, Privet has since been purchased by Hoover's Hatchery and Hoover supplies Tractor Supply. And last year, people were finding Pyncheons. We did hear that. Yes, for sure. In the bins, which I guess is a good thing. They're just kind of in there. But we haven't heard of any finds this year, and Hoover is not listing the Pyncheon online. So you may not be able to get them there either.
Right. The status is unclear. Right now, it doesn't look like there are any more hatcheries offering Pyncheons. So that's another avenue dried up where people maybe could have gotten some birds.
I guess whatever they had, they put in those Tractor Supply orders. And
I don't know. And some
they didn't do any more.
Maybe not. I mean, again, it's a breed that requires dedication. So if you're a hatchery doing a bird like the Pyncheon, it probably takes a lot of man or woman hours to work with these birds.
Well, I mean, they're outsourcing their farms, so they might not have the people doing it on the farms anymore. So that could be a problem too, why they're not getting them.
Right. At this point, it's completely up in the air. We haven't had any confirmation one way or the other, but it doesn't look like it. So you come back to breeders are very few and far between. And this bird, honestly, is on the road to extinction.
That's not good. That's not good.
No. I wish we could have done a better update, but We can only report what's going on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely. So, hey, try, if you want to do conservation, to find this bird. Go to P. Allen Smith and get the pair if you can. That's all we can tell you to do.
Yeah.
Are you ready to dive into the fascinating world of backyard ducks? Look no further than Metzer Farms, your premier destination for top quality waterfowl. Whether you're a seasoned breeder or just starting out, Metzer Farms has everything you need to elevate your flock to the next level. And if you're passionate about call ducks, you're in for a treat.
Metzer Farms hatches a stunning variety of call ducks, meticulously bred for their miniature size, beauty, and calm temperament. From snowy whites to vibrant colors, each duck is a masterpiece waiting to grace your backyard. Visit MetzerFarms.com today to browse their extensive selection and start your journey into the wonderful world of waterfowl. Metzer Farms, where passion meets perfection.
If you're looking for a chicken coop that's produced in a planet-friendly, sustainable way, try Nestera.
Each coop is made from highly durable, 100% recycled plastic that keeps the equivalent of up to 2,000 shampoo bottles out of a landfill.
Their clean, modern design will fit into any garden or run area and comes with an industry-beating 25-year warranty and a range of handy accessories.
Simple to put together, so quick and easy to clean, and most importantly, red mite resistant. Your chickens will love it.
Quick shipping from Nestera.us.
For a 5% discount, use the affiliate link in our show notes, on our website, and on Instagram. Link in bio. Check them out today.
Eaton Pet and Pasture is a farmer-owned company based in upstate New York that creates USA-made sustainable products for backyard chicken keepers. From low-dust hemp bedding and comfy aspen nesting pads to nutritious treats and odor-eliminating products, everything is designed to keep your coop clean, healthy, and smelling egg-tastic.
All their products are made right here in the USA with ingredients that are safe for your flock and the planet. So whether you're doing a deep clean or just a quick refresh, Eaton makes it simple to care for your coop the natural way.
They're your one-stop shop for coop freshness and flock happiness, made easy.
Visit EatonPetAndPasture.com to explore the full line of flock favorites and use the code COFFEE at checkout for a first-time purchase discount. Okay, so we ready to move on to main topic? Yeah!
Yeah.
This week's main topic, we're doing who, when, why, and how to add a rooster to your flock. And this one is a listener request. Jennifer Ledford, thank you. You've been messaging over on Instagram, and you're interested in adding a rooster to your flock, and that's commendable. Thank you.
Yeah, Jennifer asked us to do this as a main topic. We're going to talk about all things rooster. So we're going to start with why, like the obvious. Why add a rooster to your flock? I mean, you have one, Chris, and I have many.
Yeah, you have many. And apparently you've told me that mine is not one that gets the job done. So,
look, I don't know, man.
Hey, he got a haircut and he looks snazzy, okay?
Well, maybe he can see what he's doing now and things will go a little better for him.
They're like, look, if she sat on the eggs, we don't even know if they would hatch.
I'm pretty sure they wouldn't, but okay.
So, yes, you're going to add a rooster to your flock for breeding purposes.
The most obvious thing, whether you want to breed your own birds, you have a bird that you want to do some conservation breeding, or you just want to make your own barnyard mix for your own egg supply, or you have a little bit of the prepper in you and you're like, I will have a leghorn rooster to keep the race of leghorns going if it all goes down.
Right. And the second reason that is very out there and obvious is to watch over your flock. They're protectors. They're genetically programmed to be the guardians of the girls, of the hens.
But let's be real about that, though. Let's be real about that, because do they watch over the hens and take care of them? Yes, they do, as well as they can. But I can't tell you how many times I've seen someone saying, just get a rooster. He'll save your girls if a predator comes around. No, he can't really. Well, a lot of them die trying.
You don't want him to be the sacrificial lamb. You don't want to have him sacrificed for your flock, or do you? Is that one of the things that people say?
Some folks do. I don't either. I like to give my rooster an enclosure to work with. Like, right? I'm not going to expect him to keep out coyote and everything else under the sun.
Yeah. I mean,
and I get attached. I love my roos. They have great personalities.
Little man could not see if anything was coming for a while, so he needed a haircut so he could protect his woman, because she was doing all the rooster duties. She was tidbitting, she was crowing, she was doing all the things, but I think it's because his dew was a little too big.
He was like, My man isn't that manly, so I'm going to have to take over the work here. Behind every rooster is a good woman.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's another thing. You're going to be like, look, I don't know if he can protect your flock. Look, he's a lover. Okay.
Well, again, you have to be real about what's protection. Do my roosters look at the sky and let the girls know if there's a shadow of a raptor? Yes. Does he lead them under bushes? Yes. Can he take on a big red-shouldered hawk? Not sure about that.
Well, little man does look to the sky, but he does not alert you. And I've been a witness to it.
So maybe if you're looking for a roo who you want to do some, caretaking for your girls, maybe you don't want a Polish.
You know what? There's another reason. That brings me to this. There should be a third reason here for why.
There is a third reason here.
Companionship.
That would be a fourth reason. Because I put you enjoy the crow as the third reason. I love roosters crowing.
Yeah, I don't understand why people don't like it, but they're okay with dog barking. Crowing is an art.
My neighbors are all great about the birds because there are a lot of folks around here who have livestock and chickens, blah, blah, blah. But Pete and I were talking about it. Some of the people closest to us, their kids, they're just being kids and we're not complaining, but their kids are screaming and shrieking all day long and it's way louder than the roosters ever are.
Yeah. The rooster crow is a work of art.
It is
honestly,
amazing. It
is amazing. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. Mm-hmm. In fact, I look at that as a sign of health because if they're feeling well enough to crow, they have energy then.
Right.
If they don't, then, but I'm adding a fourth then, like I said, companionship. You can turn a rooster into a house animal, a house pet, and a lot of people do. And they are very, very, very loving.
Oh, absolutely. Roosters are so loving and they love to snuggle in your lap and watch TV. And even if you don't want them to be a house rooster, you could have a little coop with a bachelor flock in it and they're going to be some of the most loving birds you've ever met.
Yeah. I mean, even like boy dogs they always say are more loving than girl dogs. That girl dogs tend to be
they've
dominating.
Never met Tulip.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's the epitome of a girl dog, like domineering and she
does dominate him, but she's very loving with us.
Yeah, I was talking about with other dogs.
Yeah. Well, female of the species.
Exactly. So let's go to the who.
Well, I wanted to very quickly revisit the whole watch over your hens thing. So some of the actual real benefits. Okay, so we've established that your rooster may or may not be able to fight off a predator.
Mine, he can.
Okay, but what are the other things that they actually do? One of the things that my really good roosters will do is settle disputes between hens.
Oh, yeah. They're good at that. They're like, ladies, calm it down.
They'll separate the hens and restore order. That's a very real thing with a good rooster.
Yeah, that's also a good benefit for having one. And
then there's tidbitting, which is very cute. I mean, let's face it, hens don't need any help finding their food, but it is really sweet when a rooster tidbits and calls his lady over for some snacks. Or when little man's lady tidbits for him.
Brings him over. He doesn't eat before her. They eat together.
That's cute. That's very
cute. They graduated to eating together.
Okay.
So, yeah. Okay, so let's go into the who. Breeds with more docile roosters. And this one is really important because this is one thing that Jennifer was asking. She gave us a list of all the chicken breeds that she had. Mm-hmm. And she had a lot of docile, good temperament chickens in there that a roo from any of those breeds really would be fine.
Now, this is a generalization because there can be stinkers in a really gentle group, and then there can be like a breed known to be aggressive and the roo can be really nice. So this is a little more hit and miss. And all roosters are flooded with testosterone for the first 18 years of their life.
18 years?
Whoops, first 18 months of their life. So Armani had settled right down once he was past a year and a half, and then spring happened. And he went after me a couple times, but like we've said before, his aim isn't really good. So once again, he tried to spur me and he sailed right past me.
I mean, I would say to stay away from, if you're a beginner, Mediterranean roosters.
I agree with that.
I would say that they tend to be a little bit spicy. You know, they have that Mediterranean blood, like, ooh.
Hot-blooded.
They're hot-blooded. So, I mean, give yourself a few years.
Well, you know who else was hot-blooded, even though he was from a very docile breed? Ricardo Montalban, the Jersey Giant.
Yes, he was. He
was
used to
very
come up.
spicy.
He would act like he was eating all those rocks for me, which I knew he wasn't, just to check me out.
Oh, yeah. He was like, what are you doing, lady? I got to get my eye on you.
I'm like, don't worry. You're like 20 pounds. I'm not going in there.
Well, he was, I mean, most Jersey Giant roosters tend to be on the gentle side, but Ricardo was not. He did spur Pete through his sneaker, spurred him in the foot through the sneaker. But my Swedish flowers, most of the Swedish flowers I've known, Casper included, have been very, very good roosters. Although my neighbor Kitty had a Swedish flower called Sweet William, and he was not. He came out of the coop in the morning hot to trot.
So let's list a few breeds that we would consider probably that you would have a higher chance of getting a sweeter rooster than others. So like we said, we would stay away from Mediterranean breeds, but hey, you have to make your own educated decision. No one should tell you what breed they think you should get.
Exactly.
We're just putting information out there.
As a rule, Cochins, Brahmas, and Langshan roosters are gentle, but it's a rooster, so you still got testosterone there.
Now, we have Abby, who's part of our Patreon group, and she has a Salmon Faverolles rooster. Pierre, she absolutely adores this rooster. And they do have a reputation of being some of the calmer roosters. And I believe Jennifer does have some Salmon Faverolles in her flock. So that might be a good option to bring in a Salmon Faverolles. Now, you could also do that, or the speckled Sussex. They're usually a calm breed. You could bring a rooster for them.
Author Sally Couthard, she's in the UK, but she keeps light Sussex, and I'm pretty sure she told us her light Sussex rooster is a dream. So probably any of the Sussex will be good. Yeah,
so the speckled, the light, any of those would probably be good. And like Holly Ann said, the Cochins, they're a dream breed. The Brahma, we have Leah in our Patreon group. She has a Brahma rooster. He's good for her. And she has she showed us a picture of him on her lap.
Oh,
that
he's cute. Nice.
Yeah.
He's really cute. Anyone else that I would think of? I mean, Orpington roosters, they tend to be on the gentler side. They're big boys, but they tend to be on the gentler side.
Anything Orpington, you kind of can't go wrong with. And you could have one that is not nice, but that's because every living thing is an individual. So,
and testosterone is real and difficult.
And one of the things is hang in there for the first year and a half. Hang in there because it does get better.
If you've got toddlers or you have grandchildren, don't let the rooster anywhere near the kids unsupervised. Like, take precautions.
Right. The other thing is we do know, and it still makes me sad to know that Poppy the Americana with Trisha is not here anymore. Americana roosters may be a really good choice also, or an Easter egg or rooster, because they tend to be a little bit more docile birds also. So
the American breeds, I mean, a Wyandotte rooster, a Buckeye rooster, they tend to be, again, more on the docile side.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, we met that one Wyandotte. He was amazing, that rooster.
He fell asleep in my arms.
Yeah, I take that back because we met that one at Mount Vernon. He was amazing. He had his hand right with them. And
it was a lady with him. Dorking roosters. That's another good one. I've heard that Dominique and Barred Rock roosters can be spicy, but I don't know. I've never personally had either one.
And I would say like the Rhode Island Red rooster. Now, my Rhode Island Red is the sweetest dream girl ever.
Oh, so you only have one though?
I only have one. So they can be worse in a girl gang. But if you bring in a boy, I don't know. They tend to have a reputation.
Your mileage may vary. I mean, Dorkings are an underutilized breed, in my opinion, and really nice personalities. Do you remember the Dorking? He was a little older, but there was a Dorking rooster in Colonial Williamsburg who was really nice.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And the other thing is stay away from, I mean, you could bring in a little rooster if you want to do that, but like a bantam rooster, but they're not going to be able to do a lot of protection, or they can alert. Their little crows are less loud.
Yeah, they kind of, some of them sound like squeaky toys like George does. My George, squeaky toy.
Happy New Year.
Bantams with girls around do tend to be more spurry.
Yeah.
To make up a word. He's a spurry rooster.
So those are types of chickens that if they're a nice hen, usually they may also have a docile.
Odds are. Just remember, we're warning you that flooding with testosterone is a thing.
I just kept praying that little man's bond with me would kind of come through, but he went after me. He went after me a few times, too.
Well, it's because you're trying to take his eggs. These are his kids, man.
He's like, Mama, stay away from the eggs. Don't come near them. So here's the other question she has. Is a young or older rooster better? Right? So if you're introducing them into a flock, you don't want a baby. That's for sure.
Well, if you have a baby, obviously you're going to be raising him, I hope, with other chicks, primarily hens, pullets, that they would all be integrated together. Obviously, you have to wait for him to grow up. I mean, that comes, like, there are so many ways to do it, and it comes down to what you want. If you want a protector in your flock right now, maybe you should source an adult. And maybe you want to make sure he's more than 2 years old.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? The shelters are flooded with roosters that are out there that need a home, that they're just there because they're male. And now, that is so unfair. It's awful.
It's absolutely awful. And they deserve to have a good life. But I would caution that if you're going to go that route, make sure you quarantine him someplace safe for a while because, and this is not a knock on the shelters because they do the best they can. But a lot of times those birds come in with mites or lice and they could have other problems.
Right.
So quarantining is really important there.
Yeah, definitely. Because they're kind of with some people who probably didn't take the best of care, but
or they've been stray or
Yeah. So I'm all for that too. So you're right. If you need somebody right away to be protecting, go to the shelter, give one of those roosters a chance.
Or if you have a reliable breeder nearby, we happen to have a decent breeder nearby who is NPIP and he does vaccinate for Merrick's and he will occasionally place or sell some of his breeding roosters. Like he offered me a Langshan cockerel that was a couple years old and drop dead gorgeous, but I have no need for another rooster. So if you're lucky enough to find someone reliable that you can buy from, that's another avenue. Plus you'd have the peace of mind knowing that they've been vaccinated.
Right, exactly. And well taken care of. And I always say, if you can rescue, do it.
Yeah.
If not, raise a rooster with some girls. Hey, you may get a surprise rooster with some girls. And then that would solve your whole problem right there.
I've had a few. Yeah. Now, the good news is that if you get a rooster, a mature rooster, a grown up, and either you've already quarantined him or he's from someplace where you don't need a quarantine, like a really trusted place, integrating him is pretty easy and very harmonious because 9 times out of 10, he's going to be like, hey, ladies, daddy's home. They're going to be like, oh, okay, he can come and sleep next to me. The only time I've seen a rooster rejected is when we had Casper the Swedish Flower out for that bumblefoot surgery and he was out recovering for a long time. And I put him back in and Pansy went after him. She was like jumping up in the air and spurring at him like she was another rooster. And I said to Pete, I don't think we can do it. We got to bring him back out. So we retired him with his own lady. But normally,
he was a lover, not a fighter. He's a lover, not a fighter.
Casper is a lover. Yeah, he still is, his old man. But generally, the hens will accept a rooster with no trouble. The tried and true method there is just take him in at night, put him on the roost with them. They'll wake up and they'll be like, there's a man here.
How did a man get here?
There's a man in our coop.
Oh my God. But I mean, I see what you're saying because if you have a really hard-nosed hen that has been the queen of the coop.
Yeah.
She's going to look at that rooster as a rival and come in. Sometimes you could just kind of put them out with them free ranging first.
They might have worked it out, but I didn't want to get Casper stressed out because he'd been out of the flock for so long. And Pansy was like, her hackles were flaring. And I mean, she was, I said, you know what? No.
It's hard to watch, man.
Yeah. Everyone's happier with what we did, but I'd say 9 times out of 10, you are not going to have that problem. The rooster will just be seamlessly integrated.
Another rooster, a good rooster, would be an Australorp to bring into a flock. They're part Orpington, so they have that really quietness to them, and they're good, big. They'll be good at protecting. I keep thinking of different breeds. I'm like, what breed should you get? We're saying everyone is an individual, so you could get a Rhode Island Red Rooster. That's the sweetest thing ever. Look at Camille when she had Brie. He was a Leghorn.
He was a Leghorn, but he also was not with hens.
Never. I mean, he was a tiny chick on the street of New York and just, went right with her. But now she has a barred rock. So, again, there are
Bodie,
no hens.
and again, no hens around, and he's sweet as pie. That's the thing with roosters. Anytime your rooster is overmating your hens or attacking people or whatever, and you need it to stop, this is not punishment. separate them. Give him some time on his own away from those girls with you.
Give him a cold shower.
No,
I'm joking.
Don't do that.
It's a joke.
I know.
It's a joke.
I know it's a joke. But I mean, no matter how mad a Rooster might make you, like, you don't want to be punitive. He's doing what he is genetically programmed to do. But giving them that time out and letting things reset and rebuilding your relationship with him away from hens can drastically help.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm to the point now, little man's just like, look, lady, you're my mother, and I don't care about the ladies anymore. I just want my mom. He's a mama's boy.
Oh my God, he's a mama's boy. He's such a mama's boy that Janie was like, look, I got to learn to crow now.
I know. And they're both in for a little while because I just like keeping an eye on him. He was looking a little strange. So you hear in the morning, him, her, him, the crowing. It's two of them crowing every morning.
It's funny. Now, I have two Nankin hens in with George Washington. So he's got Martha Washington and Abigail Adams crows too.
It's crazy.
I don't know why, because there's nothing of the softy about George.
No.
And I don't know why she crows, but she does. It cracks me up. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but the hairdo is something different. It's going to go on social. It probably by this point.
Oh, little man's new do with his trim.
He's kind of like, he had to do like a middle schooler kid all in their face.
Yeah.
And now he's like looking like a high schooler. Like it's all slimmed around. But I find that his eyes are so big that he just pops his head up and just looks at you with the eye. Now
he does have big eyes.
He looks like somebody from the Muppets. He's like look at her. But it's so funny because you put snacks in there and then he just comes up and he looks up and then blueberries, kale, all the stuff. And he's like, this woman is my lady. Like, I don't need a lady because I got my mom.
He doesn't. And the way you like keep him, he's not in the middle of a big flock of hens. Like he's not really having to look after anyone. And again, I wouldn't do that to a Polish rooster or any other rooster that can have vision obstructed from feathers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sitting outside when he had the long dew.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, nature is cruel, man. How is this? He's supposed to be able to see everything.
And what did I say to you? I said, nature's not cruel. That's from humans breeding. That's where that came from.
They want those boys that have those big dews. And I'm like, woo! But now his head looks so small. I'm like, dang. His head looks small.
Poor little man. Poor little man. So,
okay.
You for years said you didn't want a Roo for a bunch of reasons, but now that you have him, you like having a Roo.
He was a surprise Roo. Okay, let's just put that out there. And I was a little nervous at first, but then I put on my big girl panties and I said, okay, this is what's going to happen.
We always say people put on a big girl panties, but I don't ever hear men saying, I put on my big boy panties.
Being an older big girl, I'm like an old girl. I'm going to be strong.
I know what it means. I'm just saying, yeah, it is what it is. I just don't hear men saying, I'll put on my big boy. But anyway, it's a whole, you know how I am about women's things being used pejoratively.
Well, I did. And I put them on and said, look. I said, look, I can go one of two ways. I can be afraid of this rooster, or I can embrace him and make him a mama's boy. And I did what I do best.
You successfully did that.
I did what I do best.
Yeah.
And I made him a mama's boy. And that worked for me. Now, I still would be kind of leery of any other rooster coming in because I wouldn't know. I'd be like, oh, what you gonna give me? I'd be like, I saw you get spurred and go to the doctors and everything else. I'm like,
well, that was Armani, and that's unusual. I mean, I've got a ton of other roosters, and they're all really, really nice. Armani is a special one.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we said, you don't have to have a rooster, but if you decide to add one, there are some good reasons for doing it.
And thank you, Jennifer, for doing it, because a rooster is thanking you for the chance to live. And that is such an awesome thing that you're doing. So keep messaging us if you have any other questions. If this doesn't answer all of them, message us for sure.
If your flock could talk, they would thank you for shopping at Eaton Pet and Pasture, your one-stop shop for coop freshness and flock happiness made easy.
From their all-natural USA-made favorites like hemp bedding, roost refresh, and nesting pads to convenient product bundles that make chicken care simple, Eaton has everything you need to keep your coop clean, cozy, and odor-free.
Check them out at EatonPetAndPasture.com and use code COFFEE at checkout for a first-time purchase discount.
Okay, so are we ready to move on to
cracking the eggs?
cracking those eggs. Now, Holly Ann was like, do we want to go wild this week? Do we want to get a little crazy?
I wanted to go wild, a little foraging, a little wildness.
Don't eat the mushrooms.
No, I wanted to do like a dandelion green quiche, and you were like, what?
I was like, huh?
So
we compromised on fritters.
fritters, we're doing dandelion fritters. And this is the flour, not the greens. This is flour.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going a little on the wild side.
Mm-hmm.
Walking through the grass with chickens around with no shoes on, that's going on the wild side.
Don't use those dandelions. I'm just saying. The geese actually the geese will walk by and nip the heads off the dandelion flowers.
I have one of the older flock loves the dandelions and the other flock does not. They just
interesting. It's so funny.
Crazy. And they all got them at the same time. Okay, so let's go through the ingredients that we're going to do. We got up first 1 cup of all-purpose flour or gluten-free 1-to-1 flour, 1 tablespoon of seasoned salt. It's basically like a mixed seasoning of your choice. Mm-hmm. 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper, 2 large chicken or duck eggs, and 40. Go through your yard and get 40 open dandelion blossoms, stems and green leaflets removed. Remove those, okay? So you're just doing the blossoms. And 1/4 cup of butter or oil of choice or anything that's dairy-free that you can use. Now, can you use a 1/4 cup of the dairy-free butter there?
Yeah, you can. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. So there we go.
You're going to whisk together the flour, the seasoned salt, and the pepper in a medium-sized mixing bowl until it's all well blended and set that aside. You're going to beat those eggs in a medium-sized mixing bowl, beat them very well, then add the dandelion blossoms and stir everything until they're completely coated with egg. You can let them sit in the egg for a minute. You're going to place a large skillet over medium heat. You're going to add that either the butter or the oil, whatever you want to fry with. Now, grab a slotted spoon and scoop out about half of the dandelions from the egg mixture and allow the excess egg to drip away. My recipe is based on an old recipe from Appalachia, and they use their hands for all stages of this. I don't like handling raw eggs, so I went with a slotted spoon. But just know, if you don't have a slotted spoon, you can use your hands if you want to.
Yeah, I actually have an egg separator. Works great.
So you're going to take those dandelions that you allowed the excess egg to drip away from, and you're going to add them to the bowl of flour and toss until they're completely coated. Once they're coated, pick them up in your fingers and kind of toss them in your hands a bit because you want the excess flour to fall off.
Okay.
So there's not like too much breading on the dandelions. Put them in that melted butter and cook them until they're golden brown. You can flip or stir them partway through. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes. And then put them to drain on a paper towel lined plate or wherever you drain things that you have fried. And you're going to repeat with those remaining dandelions. And there you go. Tasty little dandelion fritters that make an interesting app. You can toss them on top of a salad.
They're great to take as a host gift because people ask questions.
Yeah, that's true. There are also some recipes to make these sweet. I haven't tried that. I'm not as confident about the sweet dandelion fritters as I am about the savory.
Yeah, I always try to go sweet for things, so I might be up to try those.
Well, there you go. I did savory, you do the sweet.
Yeah, exactly. So try it. You might like it. Let us know what you think. Okay, so let's move on to retail therapy. Retail therapy. Yeah. This week's retail therapy is a seed spotlight, and we are talking about one of our all-time faves and all-time fave of the chickens, kale. And if you have a guinea pig, you should give that guinea pig kale every day also.
Oh, yeah. Because they need the vitamin C and all the nutrition from the greens, right?
Littlefoot, yeah, the vitamin C, kale is one of the most fortified leafy at any food that has the highest amount of vitamin C. So I gave him kale every day and he lived 8 years. And that's a very long time for a guinea pig.
When Pete and I started dating, he had a couple of guinea pigs, including Butterscotch, who was his first guinea pig and his last guinea pig. He lived the longest.
Yeah.
Got the fresh veg every day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and kale. And he ate kale. He died of during an exploratory surgery. He had a mass and he ate kale that morning. And I was working at the animal hospital and I was like, he doesn't look right. Took him right in and he had a mass in there. He didn't make it through the surgery, but he ate all of his kale that day. it's just about feeding the right things. So grow this stuff because you should eat it and all the animals should eat it. Grayson had some kale last night.
We sometimes feel like we're in an uphill battle when we're trying to help people learn how to take care of pet chickens. That is nothing compared to people trying to help people figure out how to take care of guinea pigs.
I've had 3 of them in my lifetime, and I really love them a lot.
They're nice.
Just like any animal, they're a lot of
If you're doing it right, it's work.
It's work.
Yeah.
I mean, I had one with 3 legs. So, yeah.
Oh, that's right. I've forgotten that.
Ginger snaps. Yeah. So I used to be the only person that did the educating on guinea pigs where I worked. I wrote a whole brochure out that I would sit and go over with people because I felt like we did see a lot of them. And if you're educated, just like with chickens with them, you can get them to live a lot longer. So grow the kale.
Well, kale is one of those super healthy plants. It's in the brassica family, and all parts are edible for you and your birds. It's been in cultivation for at least 4,500 years. So, it was around in the BC, though its popularity has waxed and waned over the centuries. Kale is closely related to wild mustard and was first cultivated in Asia and the Middle East. It was probably eaten by our ancestors all over the world. Like, it traveled everywhere. It went to the UK, Africa, other parts of Europe. But by the early 20th century, most Americans considered kale bitter, coarse, and tough and fit only for livestock.
They were the only ones getting the superfood.
Right. Though, I think feeding livestock is a legitimate and important role. If that's the only thing kale were good for, I'd still grow it for that.
Well, yeah, because, you're getting what they get.
Right.
Essentially.
Kale comes in several different colors, including red and purple, and some varieties are large and pretty enough to be considered ornamental.
Oh, this reminds me of the dark squirrel eating the purple kale plant.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. No. If you've only ever had big, coarse kale leaves from the supermarket, then you're not a big fan. Those leaves are okay for your flock or for juicing or for smoothies, but it doesn't compare to fresh, tasty greens right from your garden because it does play a lot. They're not going to be nearly as tender when you get them from the store. Keep in mind what they've gone through to get to you. So, right. Kale is widely considered a superfood due to its low calories, high dietary fiber, rich in antioxidants, and especially that purple, and high in vitamin A, C, K, manganese, and copper. Now, those things are huge. Now, if you ever learned anything in school, anything blue or purple is even higher in antioxidants than anything else. Mm-hmm. So those are the ones that you should be eating anyway. Now, you can eat it raw in salads, especially small and baby greens, but it's also great in soups, casserole, stir fries, and pretty much anywhere else you want to add the greens. I made kale chips before, and then Joe said he's never eating them again. So
they're not too bad. I like kale chips.
Yeah, they're good. Now, its combination of slightly bitter and sweet goes very well with eggs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to eat it once you grow it, and even if you just grow it to feed your chickens, you're still going to get it through those eggs. So it's best you can get it that way.
I really like it if I do a pasta and I'm not putting a red sauce on it. If I'm doing pasta with like a bit of olive oil and some cheese on it, toss a handful of kale in there and it wilts with the pasta. It's really good.
Yeah. And you know what? Use a lot more than you think because it wilts down super small.
Yep.
And when it wilts, it's really good.
It is.
Even if you eat it with the tiniest little bit of garlic, salt, and butter and pepper, it's really good.
It is very good. Cold weather tolerant and easy to grow. Kale is one of the easiest crops that you can start in your garden, especially in spring. Give it soil with a boost of compost and water it regularly, and you will be surprised how well it rewards your care. You can usually start harvesting cut and come again baby greens in a matter of weeks. It's one of the things I love about it. Full plants are usually ready in less than 2 months. And if you forget to harvest and the leaves get too big for your liking, those are the ones that are perfect to give to your poultry. Just snap them off at the soil line, toss them in with the chickens.
They love them. They don't care.
They really love it. And it helps make their egg yolks darker and more nutritious. Again, what they eat, we get too. Now, once the summer heat is broken and you're starting to have cooler nights, start another batch of kale to harvest in the fall. Depending on the varieties that you're growing and what your climate is like, Kale often overwinters so that you can have a source of fresh greens right up until spring.
Yeah,
It usually overwinters pretty well here in Maryland.
I like this. I mean, if you have chickens, guinea pigs, any of those animals that need high in vitamins and minerals, C, A, all those things, grow it because everybody can eat this. There are a decent number of heirloom kale varieties on the market, including some gourmet Italian strains like Cavolo Nero and Lacinato. A lot of kale cultivars are developed regionally. Those Italians know what they're doing, let me tell you.
Italian kale is delicious.
It's really good. Ragged Jack, Holly Ann's favorite. She likes some Ragged Jack, that's for sure. Of course, it's from the UK, while there are lots of other varieties from Siberia and Russia. Holly's going with the UK version.
Yeah. Ragged Jack is a tasty one. It's really pretty. Like, it has small serrated baby leaves and purple stems. It's really pretty.
Yeah, and take a look around and see what you can find to grow for you and your poultry. Some of our favorite sources are Baker Creek. We say this all the time. It's the best. True, Leaf Market. All of these are good. I love the catalogs though. Eden Brothers, Johnny Seeds, and Seed Savers Exchange. Or, hey, if you can't do this, go into the local farm supply store or the big box chains of, whatever, and look at the seeds because they have a lot there.
Lacinato kale is usually easy to find. There's actually, if you want to get really technical and you're like a vegetable geek, you can grow several varieties of kale and do a taste test. And there are some differences about them.
Yeah, and I just bought the plants that had started at the box store, you know what I mean? And the dark squirrel has loved them and ate them down to nubs. So I'm feeding the dark squirrel rather than anybody else. And he's now getting a lot stronger so that, I don't know if I said this on the other show or not, but I told you the other day, I was driving to get the mail and I looked next to me in the grass and the dark squirrel was running with the car.
He's running alongside like, what are you going to do, lady? What are you going to do?
Like, this dark squirrel won't go away. Like, what the heck? And he just keeps popping up everywhere.
He's messing with you now.
Laughing at me like, ha, 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 ha. I ate all your
I ate your kale. Look how fast I am. I can't run your car.
He's like, oh, well, I dug up all the marigolds. They would have died anyway because it was a major freeze like 2 nights after I planted them.
We did have an awful freeze. It's true. They
all died. It was awful. Yeah. Okay. So that aside, should we tell everybody what we're going to be talking about next week?
Next week, we're spotlighting a duck that is newly placed on the Livestock Conservancy's conservation priority list, and that is the Shetland duck.
Oh, we've done the Shetland chicken, so we might as well do the Shetland duck.
Yeah, we're going back to the UK for a little bit.
Of course.
Main topic, we are being joined by our friends Katie and Mark Metzer to talk about the best beginners duck breeds.
And hey, is there anything new going on over there at Metzer's?
Yeah, what's new at Metzer's? We're staying a little wild with our recipe. We're doing herbed butter cookies, where it's a base butter cookie recipe, and you can put whatever herbs you like in it.
I'm putting lavender in mine, man. Lavender.
I'm going with anise hyssop on mine.
Mm. So it tastes like licorice. yeah, it's like mild licorice. It's good. And then retail therapy, we're going from the sublime to the ridiculous and doing duck swimsuits. I mean, don't you want to wear one this summer?
Oh, yeah, you know I would. You know I would.
I didn't throw that in there. Okay, what should we tell everybody to do until next week?
Hug your chickens, ducks, and geese every day.
And kiss them, too. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you'd like to see more of us, please follow us on Instagram at Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. If you'd like to help us grow the podcast, please leave us a written review on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, please visit our Patreon page, patreon.com/coffeewiththechickenladies. Thanks for listening.